and welcome, Festival Speaks. Today is Tuesday, November 26th, and this 22nd. And this is episode 180 something. How are you? Yes. Hi, I'm Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry, or the Fat SQRRL on Instagram. This is Fat Squirrel Speaks. It's a podcast to do about knitting and stuff. And other adjacent things. Today there's lots of adjacencies. It's like a congruenting episode. Oh my goodness. I've been knitting. I have gotten good stuff done. Sorry, I'm totally cheating and trying to also look at the kit along and get that pulled up so that when I do the prize later, I hopefully won't forget to do the prize later. No shenanigans, right? No. We have been totally hibernating these 2 weeks. And like, my mind just can't handle anything else. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been doing so much more critical thinking in the last 2.5 weeks or so than apparently I've done in a while. Because there's so much overhead in my mind. Like it's been a long time, I feel like, since I've thought as much about what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it and how I should be thinking it. And, it's been intense, like, gnarly time. So I feel like I've not gotten as much accomplished because I find myself just like in this, I'll just all of a sudden notice that I'm in a weird like loop in my brain. And it's just, have I really accomplished anything with the thoughts I'm thinking? I don't know. Like, that's all to say. That's why there are no shenanigans this week. Also, do you ever get to this place where you're in that weird, I like to do puzzles when I'm like that, when I'm having brain thinking about thinking moment, like when the meta mind is happening. So I've been doing a couple jigsaw puzzles in addition, which might explain why I haven't gotten a ton of stuff done this time. Because gosh, I'm not very good at jigsaw puzzles. Like, I'm not, like, my dad's mom was a super jigsaw puzzler. I can't even do a 1,000-piece jigsaw. Actually, I haven't tried in a long time. I have done a couple Charlie Harper ones, but those are like very graphic and easy to do. Because it's like, oh, this is the blue part. It goes on the blue part on the picture. It's not like, oh, there's 1,000 pieces of snow. Do you know what I mean? So that was all to say. I'm not even like an accomplished jigsawer at all. I can do like 500-piece ones, and even that takes me forever. But sometimes it's nice to just have something very soothing. I find that I can also listen to audiobooks when I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle, and I can't just listen to an audiobook and knit. I know, right? It's too much ADD-ness. But the audiobook and the jigsaw puzzle does work. So that's been pleasant. And I've been reading, or listening, I guess I should listen. I've been listening to like wildly diverging things. Because like, it's almost like I'm taking medicine. Like I have to do, like you have to have the sugar to make the medicine go down. So I've been listening to Dark Money by Jane Meyer, which is nonfiction about like political funding and all this stuff. And just like basically the oligarchy that is our country. It's all about the men in the room with the cigars. But then I have to also listen to like Wildwood and MC Beaton mysteries, and one of those, I'm listening to it's like in a totally, I'm listening to the tale of Appleback Orchard, which is one of the Susan, sorry, you don't want to listen to it, which is one of the what is her name, Susan Wittig Albert, but it's one of the Beatrix Potter mysteries, which does involve talking animals. And I have to admit that, like, I may get a 20-80 split on, like, actual nonfiction that versus talking animal murder mysteries. Whatever. Sometimes you just gotta know who you are. But anyway, so let's talk about what else I've been doing this week. I'm gonna put this here. Hopefully it doesn't mess you up too much. Messed you up a little bit. Not too bad, I hope. So I'll do kit along prizes at the end. I will also do shameless self-promotion But before I do the knitting and spinning, because it's here, I'll talk about other things I've been doing. Last time in the Kid Along talk, I talked about the 12 Days of Christmas ornaments that are put out by Crafts. That's MMM Crafts. I finished one. I totally finished with my collie birds. Ah! So there it is, and then here's the back, which is obvious. I totally love how plain the back is, but just with the, because it's for collie birds. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, the collie birds are actually have been translated to calling birds, but apparently collie birds means blackbirds in the original song. I started the next one. If you're all like, oh my gosh, that's so fancy, let me tell you, there's this stuff. Okay, for one thing, like let me do the lady thing, right? Like this is the thing that most of us are guilty as women. These were the color combinations that were on the pattern. This is the floss numbers that were on the pattern. And then, like, to top it all off, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so fancy. There's the PDF in the pattern that you can print onto this stuff that's called Sticky Fabri-Solvi. Why did they make it Solvi? Anyway, but it's by Sulky. And you just put it in your printer. It works for both. I have a laser jet, but it works, I think, yeah, for inkjets or laser jets. And you just print from the PDF right onto this stuff. And then you cut them out, and it's like a sticky back. And you just like stick it onto the felt. And it's got the embroidery lines and everything. So it really is just like paint by numbers. Like you just follow the lines, and then you cut out the pieces, and then you sew them all together. This stuff is fancy. I can't remember. This has 12 8.5 by 11 sheets, and I feel like, I can't remember. I feel like it was like $8, but I could be wrong. I got it on Amazon, but they have it at craft store stuff too. Anyway, it's so cool. And then you just put, it's water soluble, so you just put it in water and it comes off. There's directions on the packaging, but how fancy is that? I'm just gonna keep showing this because I'm really proud of it. So yay that. And then, so I have had my own Christmas tree, because when I lived with my roommate before, she had the Christmas tree because she was super into Christmas. But I've had my Christmas tree for, is this my 12th Christmas? I guess this is my 12th Christmas. And I've never had a tree skirt. For like the last 5 or 6 years, okay, maybe every year, I don't know. I look at all the tree skirts, I just have never seen one that I particularly cared for, and then they're all like $50 on top of that. And so I've just like this random scrap piece of white polar fleece that I had from another project to wrap around the actual like metal workings of the tree base. We have an artificial tree. Because I'm lame. And I don't want to admit how many times I've bought fabric to make a tree skirt. Actually, only one other time in this 12 years. But I may have bought more than one pattern to make a tree skirt with. But I never make one. So this year, I totally made a tree skirt. I'm pretty excited about it. What? So, look at it. I totally made a thing, and it's a thing that's useful. Right. I'll really need to try to remember to put the link in the show notes of the tutorial that I used. Because while it was slightly time consuming, it wasn't terribly hard. I'm just going to keep showing. I'm just going to do the rest of the show like this. So, actually this is really weird because it's weird to hear myself this way. But you just use those charm packs. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's 5-inch squares or 4-inch squares. Anyway, not the mini charm packs, which are teensy tiny, but like, I think it's a 4-inch square. So they're pre-cuts, and this it really needed 3 and just a teeny bit of other stuff, which I happen to have had. But I think the instructions say to buy 4. And it's not terribly complicated. You like sew, and you could do it. You could totally do it with strips of fabric as well. It would just be slightly less randomized. But the way she has you do it is you cut You sew together 5 squares, like vertically, and then you use one of those 9-degree circular 9-degree wedge rulers. So it's like a triangle wedge. It's like this biggish at the bottom, and it's like this tallish. And so you cut out a wedge, and then there's actually like there's a skinny scrap that you just discard because it's really skinny, and then another scrap that you use. And so that one right there is the fatter one, and then that one's like the scrap one. So you just flip it over and sew them together, and then you sew all the wedges together in a randomized way, or you could do it like purposely laid out, but you could just be me and randomize it because it's high. And then you get this thing. Isn't that fun? What? Right. And then you just, then you like put something on the back. Ooh, I missed a place. Dang it. I always do that on my binding. Anyway, is that the only place I missed? So then you just do some binding around the edge. This is not matching fabric because this was a discontinued. This is an old, it's a Moda one called like somebody's tree farm. So they don't make it, so I couldn't find yardage to do the binding with. So I just had this from the other tree skirt that I was going to make. So I just used that. And then I just randomly had this because I was going to use it for shop stuff, but then thought it was maybe too plain. So I had some of this and I used that for the backing, which worked out really well because it was 54 inches wide. Yay! Oh, and so what I was muttering about is I missed catching the binding right here. Lame. So yeah, I totally made a tree skirt, okay? These are, I really debated a lot about the colors because I wanted the ease of using the charm packs, and I wanted to not have to pick out colors because I find that to be very stressful. I know, right? I'm so lame. I don't remember what it does. So I stressed out about, like, normally I would consider myself a very traditional Christmaser. And so this has like gray and the light blue, but one of the things about the traditionally kind of colored packs was they all looked very dark, and I felt like it's too formal for us because we are not formal. Okay. So this, I think it worked out really well, and I think it'd be very cute underneath of the tree. What do you think? Oh, I'm so excited. I totally made it. I have a thing. And also it works as a cape if you would like to have a cape. For Christmas treeing, you can, or if you would like to go for Halloween as a Christmas tree, it really does work for that as well. Clearly that's how the rest of the show needs to be done. So yeah, I totally made this thing. So that took up quite some time. Oh, I didn't quilt it. I pieced it, and then I just did stitch in a ditch like every other spoke. I just stitched along the seam line because I'm not very good at quilting. Like, I know I sew for a living, but that's not quilting. It's different. And so I was afraid that it would get really warbly because I'm not the most patient person. Which is silly, right? As a person who makes socks, you're like, I'm not that patient. But there are some things I don't have the patience for. But, so I didn't actually quilt it. You could, or you could just, the reason I did stitch in the ditch was because I didn't want the fabric for the front and the back to like balloon and separate from each other. So I wanted it to I wanted to stay together. And I didn't use real batting. I just used this, and then this is like a decorator weight, so it's heavier. And then I just had some scrap polar fleece that I used for the middle bits, just to give it a little bit of softness. But the woman that did the pattern, or that did the tutorial, did not use anything. She just used a front and a back. So yes, I probably wouldn't have used this for the backing, except that again, I had it and I didn't have to buy anything else, and that made good sense to me. Okay. So yeah, I did that. Okay, then let's talk about knitting and spinning. Okay, not talking about spinning because I'm still working on my beautiful Joanna Spring bats. But I do have some finished objects. They're all socks. I finished my blueberry waffle-ish socks. So blueberry waffle is a free pattern on Ravelry. I apologize, I don't know who wrote it, but I'll put that in the show notes. And this is Marigold Jen. This is her BFL fingering sock, just held double. So these are basically just worsted weight socks with an afterthought heel. And this is just some Madeline Tosh, I think in the geode colorway, which again, I also held double. So yay. Because let me just discuss, worsted weight socks are a good way to use up your worsted weight or your fingering weight yarn that you're like, why do I have so much fingering weight yarn? I think I need to really tackle some maybe after the holidays. So I do have some oh, I forgot one thing. I do have quite a bit of holiday knitting to do. But anyway, so I'm very pleased with how they turned out. And of course, Marigold Jen's yarn is always beautiful. Yay, and those are for me. Usually I'm 72 stitches, and I think for the worsted weight I did I do 60? Maybe? I think maybe. I think that's what I did. So there's those. And then I finished some gift socks. Oh, that's an end, hopefully? Yes. How did that get out? I have an end that got weirdly on the other side of the fabric that I wove in very poorly, apparently. Well, anyway, I need to fix that. But it was so, sorry, distracted. These are, again, just afterthought heel socks. These are from Nomadic Yarns in her Rhinebeck sweater weather colorway. So I just used the Laura Linneman technique for the afterthought heel on these. Oh, no, I did a true afterthought heel on these. I actually cut them because I was at Rhinebeck during part of my knitting of them. So okay, aren't those pretty? So pretty. I may have ordered a ball of Christmas yarn from her. I couldn't resist. So lame. And then my last pair. This is the yarn that Mustache did for the kit I collaborated with her on. And the pattern is it Stepping into Fall? It's by Sylvia Harding. I think it's Stepping into Fall, but I'll put it in the notes. So again, this is Mustache in her like OCD skeins. So you get 2 skeins of yarn that are perfectly matched, and then you can make fun socks. And again, each stripe has a different texture, which made it go much more quickly. I find that when I just have plain stockinette socks, I don't do as well, especially when they're finger eight, especially when they're for me. Because like Mammal's feet are only 56 stitches versus mine, which are 72. But anyways, didn't they just turn out cute? Yay! I'm pleased with how they turned out. When you have them off the blocker, let me see if they'll actually look that way. Oh no, they look nice. But when you're knitting them, they look funky because the different textures make them like squinch in at different places. But if you do block them, they turn out just perfectly. I don't block my socks except to show you people when I remember to do so. Lots of times, as you know, I don't remember to even do that. But like when I wash my socks, I hang them up on like one of those drying things and don't block them again. Okay, so I have one more thing to show you that's over there. It's not finished, but okay, just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we'll do works in progress. So maybe this is the most boring thing. I'm knitting a hot water bottle cover. So these are scraps that are left over from my hero, my hand-spun hero. And I'm not following that yoke pattern where you stagger, but I am doing in the flavor of. So this is one color, and then I staggered in with the blue, and now I'm staggered up to this Three Waters Farm color. So yay, hot water bottle covers. The line looks much less distinct, not on the camera, but so yay that. Sometimes my feet are just too cold for words. It's just my feet. Not always just my feet, but man, my feet get cold. And then, I've already seen this, but I have a little bit more done. I am working on the Upstairs Downstairs cowl, which is by Paula Emmons Feasley. And this is hand spun. This is also from Joanna Spring. This is her 2 gallons of honey was the colorway for these. She has some beautiful bats in her shop, just FYI. It has sparkle and stuff in it too, which the camera does not see. Oh my gosh, look at my stitch marker. So cute. Give it to me right back. So this is a great gift pattern if you wanted to make a gift. You can make the shorter version with I think just 1 skein of sport yarn, or the long version is 2 skeins, and it is written with yarn weights. So if you're not sure if you'll have enough, it has like what percentage of yarn you're supposed to have used at each point. So you can kind of estimate, like, and you can make maybe this middle garter section narrower or wider depending on how much yarn you have. And it's a very easy TV knitting kind of a pattern. And it goes fairly quickly because, again, this is probably like a light sport weight. But, it goes fairly quickly because it's not fingering weight. And what else? Anyway, it's just like a very neutral. You can use variegateds with it because the patterning is very simple. Yeah, so it'd be a great way to use up some sport weight yarn that you have. Or again, you can use fingering. You'll just get a different size, but it's nice for gift knitting. That's probably not going to be a gift, but if you were a nice human, unlike me, that would be good. Okay, and then I have. Okay, I am not a pink person, like, at all. 0. Even I have my I have the Exploration Station by Stephen West. I have like some hot pink in mine, and I feel really weird wearing it because I know that's so lame, but whatever. But Fiber Nymph put this stupid sock plank up, and I felt like I needed it. I don't know why, but it's the Who's Down in Whoville. Maybe that's why. But it's like so not my colors at all, and I really am enjoying it. So here's my sock so far. It's the same stitch pattern that's in the Vanilla Latte socks, which again, I apologize, I don't know who that's by. I'll try to remember to put it in the show notes. But that's a free pattern. I think the pattern is actually cuffed down, so not actually fun, but it's like basically it's a 6x2 broken rib. Right. So I'm totally digging it. Yay that. So anyway, Fiber Nymph always does a great job. I've had some for self-striping, some for variegateds, but this is so fun. Look at it. I mean, here it isn't just plain stockinette. Like, how stinking cute is that? Totally not my colors, but I dig it. That's the beautiful thing about socks. I'm not gonna wear it next to my face. Okay, and then last thing. Okay. I am knitting on the Wither, W-H-I-T-H-E-R, the Wither Sew Mitts, which is a pattern by Bristol Ivy. And they look like that. And the reason I had seen these is a Craftsy, stupid Craftsy. Craftsy sent me some sort of email that was like, look at this stuff that you want, that you didn't know you even wanted. And I was like, dang you, Craftsy. Because they actually sell it as a kit with their Cloudborn yarns. Now, I did not buy the kit because their Cloudborn yarn, their fingering weight is actually like a very light fingering weight. So I wanted to go ahead and get the sport because the people I'm making them for, none of them are tiny, delicate flower ladies. So I felt like the sport would probably be a safer bet, and I was happy to go down a few stitches. I did not want to go up anymore because I'm making like 4 pairs of these. But anyway, so this is totally a fun little pattern. I usually get kind of impatient doing mitts and mitt-like things. I apologize, I did not bring the color tags. But again, it's Cloudborn. This is the sport weight. It comes in 50 gram skeins, and I think each 50 gram skein has like 200 yards in it. And it is like a woolenish spun. I mean, I think it's, I mean, it's not listed as woolen spun, but it has much more of that texture. And it's South American wool this time and blocked it, of course, clearly. But isn't that fun? So I'm not usually into doing mitts that much. I get frustrated. They seem like they take a lot longer than they should. I'm kind of bad about it. It's one of the also reasons I get frustrated with baby knits is because you think, oh my gosh, this is going to be done super flash. And then it's not. And you're like, what the crud? So that's how I feel about mitts. But these are actually quite enjoyable. And there's a slip stitch pattern. So if you're not familiar with doing like a fair isle technique or anything like that, you don't need to. You're just doing one color at a time. And this little movie thing kind of keeps you interested because you're constantly moving this little stripe over. And yet it's not so complicated that you have to look at a pattern. So yeah, there's those. And so far, clearly I can't attest to the durability of this yarn at all, but I do like this Cloudborne yarn that Craftsy sells for $3.50 for a 50 gram skein. Makes me a little nervous. But it's very nice and squishy. And again, some people did have complaints about it being splitty. I have not experienced that. It depends probably on how you hold your yarn when you knit, because it is not tightly plied. It is a looser ply structure, and then again it feels more like a slightly woolen spun yarn, so it has that airier texture. But I so far really like it. They are either solids or heathers. I don't know, I'm liking it so far. You'll be seeing more of those every week from now until Christmas. Okay, so that's all the knitting and spinning. Next I'm going to do shameless self-promotion, and then I'm going to do prizes for the kid along. Okay, I'm going to have an update on Saturday, which is Small Business Saturday. I know I always do them on Fridays, but I'm doing it for Small Business Saturday. Mostly because we're having Mexican Friendsgiving on Friday, and I might be 3 sheets to the wind by 9 p.m. And I'm afraid I won't remember to update the shop. Confession. I just bought booze for the booziest margarita / cranberry / cidery / sparkling wine punch ever. So I'm not going to be able to update the shop at 9 p.m. That's a plan. So anyway, that's really not why I'm doing it on Saturday, but it's almost Saturday. So the shop will be updated at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And now if you're out doing things with family stuff, check back later because there's actually a lot of these bags. I'm doing these as sewn to order, so the fabric is all in-house. They will ship out in no more than 2 weeks. So that should get them to L. The U.S., all domestic shipping should be to you in times for the holidays if you want to give one as a gift or anything like that. But it's, well, you'll see the fabric. I'm going to show you in a minute. But I'm just not sure. It's all free to Kahlo. It's a complete free to Kahlo update. It's all free to Kahlo all the time. So I'm not sure. I can't take the temperature on how that's going to go. I feel like I've had 10 of them that would sell out, but I have the ability to make more than 10 of them, so I'm just going to do it as sewn to order. Are you ready? Okay, so first up, sock bags. They're so orange. There's going to be both the traditional sock that I've always done, and then the like sock extra large, or the sock plus, I think is what I've been calling it. So this little guy, this guy is 10% bigger. But it's really nice, especially if you're going to do hats or something like that. Or if just in general you find that don't like, I like the sock size for me, for how I knit. But if you use double points, maybe they have trouble getting them in and out or whatever. I like this size because I can very easily put it in my purse. And it, is tiny. But if I'm knitting a hat or something that's bulkier than fingering weight, I do like a slightly bigger bag. So there are both options will be available. And then the next ones are gonna be large wedges. Because you clearly need some goats. Some super awesome birds. And then, I guess that's technically not Frida, but it was in the same product line, so. Wait, there's more. That's right. Frida can give you the side eye all day long from your knitting bag. She's not giving you the side eye. She's giving other people the side eye. Man, how much do you want Frida on your side giving people the side eye? She could tear up some side eye. Look at that. So it has Frida on the top, and then it has that fun goatee fabric on the bottom. The reason is this fabric print had this kind of strange image of her on alternating rows in which she was wearing a sombrero and had a mustache. And I thought maybe originally when I bought it that was like based in some sort of artwork that she had done that I just never seen. I tried to research further and I couldn't find it. And it just felt not right. So I just didn't use those strips. So that's why there's this contrasting on the bottom. I didn't feel good about it. So there's the fun plum color, and then there's this light blue, and then there's, of course, some orange. Right. Super fun. And then I also have in sweater size. I can't work the camera. I mean, really, 180 something episodes, I still have trouble. So I have this one in both cream and black. Right. Oh my gosh. So you'll see on one side you may not get a full Frida, but you have at least one really good Frida. And then the other side you may get like a Frida and half Frida. So as you can see, just because the fabric spacing is so big. So those are both sweater size, and these are all these are all quilters cottons. The large wedge and the socks are aligned or are interfaced with just like a traditional interfacing, and then the sweater and the Aran sweater are interfaced with like a batting, quilt batting kind of thing. So there's also the same. Bam! So much Frida! And there she is again. So I know this is strange to put these out so close to the holidays, but I just needed to work on something that I felt good about. Do you know what I mean? So I needed to do jigsaw puzzles and work on something I really felt good about. Not that I don't feel good about fun Christmassy patterns. There will be, if you are looking for more traditional like winter themed bags, I will have another update probably 2 weeks from Thanksgiving weekend. And that will have, it'll just be one print, but it's super cute. It's not Christmassy, it's wintry. It has like hats and mittens and hot chocolates and skis, and it's very cute. So I will have those, and that will be all sizes. I'll have those, again, that 2 weeks after Thanksgiving probably. I'll have those ready for you. And then that'll be the only updates for the rest of the year. The first of the year, I'm going to do a pre-order with a National Parks fabric, which I'm very excited about. I hope you're excited about it too. But that'll happen probably the first week of the new year. And those will be a traditional pre-order where I don't have the fabric in-house. It'll be printed to order. And so those will have a longer line. The winter fabrics that are going to come out in the middle of December, those will be ready to go out the door. But again, all these Frida fabrics are sewn to order, so they'll be about, depending on what call there is for them, it'll be, you know, but I'm saying no more than 2 weeks. I think that's all. No, there's prices. So if you participated in the kit along, I'm going to do the prizes. If you did not participate, I'll see you next time. I can't work all of my devices. Since the iOS is different on my, I have one that you push the home button twice to get forward and one you push and swipe, and so I can never, right? Talk about first world problems, people. Okay, Kid Along prize thread. Bam. It's happening, I promise. The little blue line is moving. I'll get to the random generator. Oh my gosh, have you watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? I'm just letting this load. I'm not taking away from us. I am not. I actually really don't like musicals very much. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is a comedy, but it has musical numbers within it, and it's hilarious. And I find that I am doing so many more musicals in my everyday life, and if for no other reason, I recommend watching that show just so you'll do the same, because it's really highly worth it to just randomly sing about stuff, even though I have no singing voice at all. Zero musical talent. It's still loading. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. Also, it's just worth it to make your kid go crazy. It makes your kid, like my kid is made wickedly uncomfortable by that kind of thing because she's my kid. Sorry, kid. I was the same way when I was a kid. My mom, who actually has a good singing voice, would sing and I would just be like, I can't take it. Right? I know, I'm a hot mess. Sorry, I don't know why it was being so weird. Okay. I think we're through 24, right? Okay, 25. Okay, so 2 through 25. Generate random number. Your random number is number 7. It's not going to focus, but promise it's 7. There it goes. And number 7 is... the Jasper Patch. And look at that. So anyways, those are some great things. I enjoyed the Kid Along so much. And if yours is a Jasper Patch, give me a PM on Ravelry, or you can email me at amybmays@yahoo.com, or no, at gmail.com. You could do that one, but it'll take me forever to know that you've sent anything there. So you just PM me on Ravelry, and I'll get you a coupon code so you can get a bag. What? It's true. Okay, I think that's all. It's insane. Anyway, I hope you have a great holiday. If you're in the US, our Thanksgiving is this Thursday. And if you're not in the US, I hope you have an awesome Thursday. Maybe you should eat a little bit extra so we don't feel so fat. Just saying. Just help us out. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.